right, a football game on Thursday night that was a little bit more competitive than we expected, but of course, as always, death, taxes, Tua turned the ball over in the most important spot of the game. The Miami Dolphins are driving, looking to potentially tie, and I think they would have gone for two and played aggressive to go for the win. Tua Tagovailoa throws another untimely, crucial interception against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo gets a field goal. This game is wrapping up right here, 31-21 in Buffalo in this game. And again, man, this is just a story of, I thought the game was going to be a little bit closer because one, divisional game, two, short week, three, Miami 0-2, desperate, Buffalo 2-0, comfortable. All those factors led to things being a little closer. Some people were out there saying like, oh my God, the Bills minus 11.5 is an absolute lock. I didn't feel that way. However, I felt like Buffalo W was pretty secure. Shout out to everybody that used them in their survivor pool. And when you looked at this game, man, the Dolphins tried to limit the number of mistakes they can make, throwing everything underneath. Tua had 23 completions in this game for 161 yards. Not at all a very great day from Tua. Tyreek Hill was the leading receiver at 49 yards. So Miami, everything was underneath. Everything was short. Tyreek Hill has even said this in the past. Like, that's just how Buffalo plays them. They'll run cover four deep and they'll make them beat them underneath. Make them have to make the throws consistently. And Buffalo has shown that is a good way to attack and defeat Tua Tagovailoa. Make him continuously beat you and not make the mistake. And Buffalo, to their credit, and Sean McDermott, to their credit, every time he's matched up against this guy, he's gotten him to make a mistake or two or three in crucial spots. In this game, it was just one, but it was one in the biggest spot of the game. Fourth quarter, close game, game on the line. You're driving down to tie or potentially take the lead if you go for two, and you throw the pick. And at the end of the day, this is why in the video that I did with Javon yesterday on the channel, you don't overpay for mid. The Tua contract set Miami back. I don't know if Mike McDaniel is a good head coach. I know he's a good play designer, but does he have what it takes to be a good head coach? I'm not sure. And Miami feels directionless. Even though I feel like this was the best game they played all year, only one team has ever started off 0-3 and made the playoffs. 2018 Houston Texans. I just don't see Miami having that path this year. Yes, they have games coming up against the Jets, the Browns, and the Panthers, and probably in a month's time, they're looking at a 3-4 record, which isn't the worst in the world. But at the end of the day, when Miami plays these better competitive playoff teams, I think they're always going to come up short. Dominated by the Colts week 1, Patriots beat them in week 2, beat by the Bills in week 3. 0-3 to open up the year, and a lot of questions. I think they were competitive enough to save Mike McDaniel's job. We'll see. Tyreek Hill looking very frustrated. Tua had some bad misses in this game. There was a throw on the second to last drive where Tua just blatantly missed Tyreek Hill wide open. Kirk Herbstreit tried to say that it was like, oh my God, the pressure in the pocket. That was a clean pocket, man. That was just a blatant miss from Tua. And he had a couple of those tonight. Felt like he was trying to avoid throwing that interception. Felt like he kind of bright lights, knew his history in this place. Eventually it caught up to him. But yeah, just a real concern there if you're Miami. The defense played it the best it's played. I don't mean to just come up here and shit on the Dolphins, but 0-3, not a lot of positives. For Buffalo, they are obviously rolling. They are 3-0, and the next month of their schedule is pretty cake from my understanding. The Saints are in there. I think maybe the Browns might be in there. Let me pull up Buffalo's schedule here. Saints, Patriots, Falcons, Panthers. So going into their Kansas City Chiefs game, I expect the Buffalo Bills to be 7-0. Josh Allen looked pretty solid in this game tonight. 3 passing touchdowns, 22 of 28, a 134 passer rating. Didn't have to do too much in this one. James Cook, 100 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Let's pull up the stats here. I know some of you guys like to see the stats, but boom. Yeah, obviously we have the clear mismatch at quarterback here. Josh Allen absolutely did his thing. Outplayed Tua. No surprise in that spot. I thought Josh, again, these are the kind of games from Josh where I feel like you really see his growth as a player over the last few years where, it's just be smart with the football, make good decisions, make plays with my legs when I need to, don't try and force anything, live for the next down, and my talent will eventually win out. 22 of 28 passing, very solid numbers there. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, really spread the wealth. Dalton Kincaid, sometimes it takes tight ends a little while to break out, and he looks like in the first part of the season that he might be becoming the #1 receiving option on this team. I think that Keon Coleman, while he only had 3 for 20, he showed me some good things in this. The strong hands on that third down conversion were really nice. Shakir's always been a pretty solid slot wide receiver. Buffalo doesn't have an amazing elite wide receiver one or #1 receiving threat, but their rushing attack with Josh Cook and even Ray Davis and Ty Johnson to an extent, like this offense is certainly good enough. The one thing that I do worry about for Buffalo still is that rush defense. You see here Devon A-Chain getting 5.2 a carry, Ollie Gordon 4.2. Ultimately, Miami just wasn't able to rely on the run enough, but we saw Derrick Henry dominate the Bills on the ground in week 1. We saw Miami, their 2 top rushers combined for 100 rushing yards in this game. So something that I'm looking out for from a Bills fan. Now, Ed Oliver and Matt Milano were out in this game, but they weren't out in week 1. And Buffalo has had a little bit of trouble when it comes to run defense in recent years. But man, you look at these 2 teams, and it's certainly a tale of 2 teams. In the micro, obviously, this is just one game, and Buffalo comes out on top. But man, when you look at the AFC East in the macro, Buffalo feels like they're just going to dominate this division for years to come at this point. It's going to be reminiscent of the Brady Patriots, I feel like. And for Dolphins and Jets fans, I feel kind of bad for them because they're just on the shit end of the stick for both of those. An elite top 3 quarterback comes into their division and just runs it for north of a decade. And there's nothing they can do about it. They cannot compete with the talent that Josh Allen has because it's just so rare to see and even rarer to acquire on your own football team. And Buffalo has the best coach in the division with McDermott. We'll see with Vrabel, but that Pats defense isn't looking like what it should at the moment. James Cook, best running back in the division. And you guys know, again, if you watched the video on Wednesday with me and Javon, the run game is just so important in the modern day NFL because the league swung the pendulum so far in the passing attack that now if you have a dominant run game, you can control the clock. Like, let's pull up the team stats here and just kind of give a quick comparison of these because I'm really interested. Close in terms of first downs, total yards, Buffalo has close to 100 more. Buffalo had that weird situation where in the second quarter it looked like they were going to score another touchdown drive, get stopped twice, and an awful field goal from Matt Prater. I don't know if it was blocked or just a miss, but Buffalo still wins by 10, probably should have been 13. Obviously, in terms of turnovers, you just have the 1 Tua interception, which turnovers will cost you in these games, man. Rushing yards, pretty similar. Time of possession, Buffalo does end up winning it. Buffalo is just able to impose their will in ways that Miami wasn't. I know that some of these team stats look close and it was a competitive game, but even when Miami was driving on that late drive, man, I just personally didn't feel like they were going to win the football game. I even said to my roommates and my buddies who I was watching the game with, where's the Tua pick? We know it's coming. And it did. And if you're Miami, you don't know how you feel about the head coach. Tua makes $55 million a year, and he's not a top 15 quarterback in the sport. Tyreek Hill makes a lot of money. Doesn't look like he wants to be there on the sideline. The defense, Bradley Chubb's been actually pretty solid. So I'm not even going to really crap on the defense. Their secondary was better. I expect the guys that they brought in, Jack Jones and Rasul Douglas, they brought them in so late to training camp that I expect it'll take the first month before we see this defense get to where it could be at, because honestly, the first 2 weeks, they just got absolutely destroyed. Drake May absolutely slinging dots on them. And of course, Danny Dimes in that Colts offense. For Miami, bleak future, bleak present day. Bad time to be a Dolphins fan. Sorry, Fins fans. I know it's been pretty negative, and I kind of have that reputation, but is what it is, man. The Buffalo Bills win this game. The Buffalo Bills probably going to win the AFC East again, have a real great shot to be the 1 seed. And this is just another rung on the ladder for them as they finally look to climb and get over that hump. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. If you love the NFL and you're not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that button. I'll catch you next time. Peace.